So wonderful, good afternoon dear LinkedIn community. One more time here in Azerbaijan. The next stop is now with me, the chairman of the board of Aliyat Free Economic Zone here in Azerbaijan. And thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for having us at your precious site here at AFES.
Pleased to meet you.
So, Mr. Asgarov, this free zone is often a gateway between Europe and Asia. And also, how do you see the close proximity to the seaports? Let's start with the location of your area.
It's a very important point to have attractive for investors location of the free zone or territory of the free zone. And we selected this place because Aliyat Free Economic Zone located in vicinity of Baku International Sea Trade Port, first. Second, at intersection of transport corridors from east to west and backwards, from north to south and backwards. It means that our clients will have and will have access to all kinds of transportation, logistics services using seaways, railways, motorways. And as I said in our previous meeting, our investors, Silpay Airlines, start construction of airport at the territory of the Aliyat Free Economic Zone. And it will be ready to use not later than in March, April of 2027. It means that our clients, our potential investors will have access not only to seaways, motorways, railways, but at the same time to airways. And it is a very important point for high-tech industries because they will use air cargo ways, not railways, not motorways, etc. And because of it, I am absolutely sure that our clients will have acceptable for them, profitable for them, access to all kinds of transportation logistic services. It is a very important point, not only for Aliyat Free Economic Zone, for any other free zones or for any other industrial zones.
Mr. Chairman, allow me a follow-up question because I'm very much involved in aerospace, business aviation, general aviation. So this is worldwide a very, as far as I know, a very specific solution that inside a free zone there is an airport. How come?
To be more attractive than any other free economic zone. Not only in surrounding countries, but in much more wider geography. If we will not be more attractive than any other free economic zone, why investors will come to the Aliyat Free Economic Zone. And because we made everything possible to increase attractiveness of the Aliyat Free Economic Zone. And one of these decisions is establishment of cargo airport at the territory inside of the Aliyat Free Economic Zone with direct access of our clients to this type of services.
So that means
and it will increase attractiveness of the Aliyat Free Economic Zone for investors and especially for high-tech companies.
So you're also becoming independent with the air cargo from sea if there's a problem on sea, as we sometimes experience. And allow me the question, what kind of airplanes, air cargo planes can land here? Is it really also the any? Even the 747, Boeing 747, Boeing freighter?
Any.
Okay. And if the general manager wants to fly with his private jet into...
Yes, no problem.
No problem. So you got a general aviation terminal.
Business aviation section of this airport. And general manager, anybody, if they want to use their
private jets.
Private
they
jets, no
can
problem.
fly in.
No
Okay.
problem.
Because we have to know this is a bit a remote place. So in the remote place, you have full access by car, by sea, and now with the plane.
Yes, with the plane, yes.
So this is basically a strong diversification that you are carrying out with the economic free zone. You're diversifying and you are differentiating yourself from other free zones, yeah, in a massive way.
Of course, because any free zones is competitors, our competitors.
Okay.
And we are
Yeah.
in competition with any other free economic
And you
zone in
want to-
surrounding countries, of course. If we will not be more attractive than any other free economic zone in the region, and even in much more wider geography, why investors will come to the Eilat Free Economic Zone?
Yeah. You showed me the sketch of this airport, and you can see also air cargo terminals.
Yeah.
Quite a
Cargo
big number.
village.
Cargo village, exactly. Tell us about the cargo village.
Cargo village means that any businesses which want to bring his products to the Eilat Free Economic Zone or from the Eilat Free Economic Zone can use this cargo village, these facilities to bring their goods, to take their goods next to their doors, next to their businesses.
Okay, very close.
Yeah.
Or, each company will have its own cargo village. And how is it planned? Will the planes stay there overnight if necessary, longer periods, or they just come in and go out?
but
They can stay overnight?
the space for planes which will stay here 1 hour, 1 night, 1 day, 1 week.
You can
So,
accommodate
No.
everything. Very
no
good.
problem.
Yeah. Congratulations, good innovative idea, and makes you really special in that case. Now, I have visited some of other places in Azerbaijan, and I'm really impressed by the number of manufacturing companies in Azerbaijan. Let me ask you, Mr. Chairman, what kind of industries are you targeting with AFES, with this economic free zone?
Businesses engaged in high value added export oriented manufacturing. Businesses engage in high value added export oriented manufacturing using, of course, best technologies, best international standards. Only these type of businesses, not trading, not warehouses, etc.
Yeah.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing, and as you say, value addition. That assumes you have a product, a raw material that becomes value addition on it, and then can be exported from here. Yeah.
Yes, with certificate of origin made in Azerbaijan. To have this certificate, our investors need to establish businesses manufacturing. Full cycle of manufacturing.
So today Azerbaijan is very much driven by oil and gas. Does oil and gas play here a role, or are you diversifying?
No, it's
The
main
country.
goal of establishment of the Eilat Free Economic Zone is diversify economy of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Very important point. Our clients is businesses, as I said, engage in high value added export oriented manufacturing. And export oriented means that at least 75% of goods produced in the Eilat Free Economic Zone, they are obliged to export. Outside of the Republic of Azerbaijan. And it is very important point.
So that's the idea of having the value addition in Azerbaijan, but not for Azerbaijan, can be, but mainly for export-oriented companies.
Yes, if we want to have successful story,
It has to be like this.
Azerbaijan market not so big. We have 10.5 million buyers only. It means that if we will orient them to the local market, it will be small businesses oriented to the local market.
Yes.
And because it high value added export oriented manufacturing. And it is not first time in this history. For example, in Ireland, in 1959, they established Shannon Free Economic Zone in vicinity of Shannon International Airport. And with goal, high value added export oriented manufacturing. At that time, for example, Ireland was poorest country of the Europe. GDP per capita of Ireland at that time was maybe 12 times less that of GDP of per capita of USA,
Yeah.
9 times less than GDP of UK. But today, GDP of Ireland per capita higher than GDP of USA, UK, Germany, etc.
Because also the big tech companies are there, Microsoft,
not only.
the Google, and so
Not only.
Not only, but also manufacturing.
Yeah.
Do you take Shannon a bit like an example for Azerbaijan as this gateway? Is this your inspiration also?
Yes, we used experience of Shannon managers who spent decades of their life in the Shannon free economic zone. We used their experience. Then they prepared legislation of the Alat free economic zone, planning, not only master planning, even detailed planning of these 60 hectares was made by guys from
The chairman. Now, Mr. Chairman, what caught my special attention is also the independency of this free economic zone. So you have an independent legal regime here. And can you tell us about why do you need a special independency here from the rest of the Azerbaijan law making and law execution system?
Let's back to the history. When in Ireland, government of Ireland decided to establish Shannon free economic zone, they adopted special law on the Shannon free economic zone, primary law, which gives independence of the free economic zone authority and extraterritoriality for free economic zone. And our studies, for example, I hope you know that around the world, more than 4,000, 5,000 different type of free zones.
No, I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Number is increasing by the day, basically.
Thousands.
Yeah.
But if somebody will ask me, could you name most successful stories? Ireland, Singapore, China, including Taiwan, United Arab Emirates, and
Azerbaijan.
it will be Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. It will be
And we used this experience
yeah.
because without extraterritoriality and independence of regulatory body, our investors will spend a lot of time, efforts, because of bureaucracy.
The bureaucracy to get all the licenses to get everything.
Same as in any other country.
Yeah. In Germany, when you build a company, it takes weeks, months to do that. Yeah.
And because we have such legal regime which guarantees extraterritoriality of the Alat free economic zone and independence of Alat free economic zone authority. It means that our clients, they don't need to touch with any state entity, governmental bodies, only we and them. Registration, licensing, land leasing, certification, everything, only in this office.
So it's a very streamlined process for your customers, for the investor.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if, for example, if we agreed with potential investors about their plans, what they want to build, what they want to produce, all procedures will take 1 week.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, do you have an example, a live example? We don't need to mention names, but do you have an example for us, for our community, to explain one specific investment case that you think was very fast implemented?
What it means very fast. For small businesses, very fast, it's 1 year. We don't have such small businesses.
Okay.
And because it's impossible to say in 1 year. For example, first, which start production of their agreed products, they spent more than 2 years for planning, construction, and maybe they will finish in July or August.
In 2 years, this is including construction.
Yes. And in July or August they will finish. From the day of planning permit till production, it will take 3 years.
Yeah, very short.
But it is very short for big industries. For small entities, it is not short time, but for big industries, for
You have to imagine the machines, they have to be constructed, the infrastructure has to be constructed, so it's a very fast time.
We provided to our investors industrial land plots with ready-to-use off-site and on-site infrastructure and utility. We did everything in advance of demand because without such principal position, nobody will come.
Yes.
Nobody will wait when we will provide to them water, natural gas, connection to motorways, railways, etc., etc. And because if you want to be successful, it's obligatory to have industrial land plots, ready to use industrial land plots in advance of demand. They want to come and to see and to select this plot.
So, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, what you have made here, in Europe we have one issue, and that is find the right talent for the production. Engineering people, particularly skilled workers and things like that. How would you rate your free economic zone in that respect? Do you have sufficient employee available?
We have and we will have. Because every year, approximately 120,000 young, brilliant guys from schools come to universities. After universities, they need to find.
So you have a huge talent market free available. Yes. For our community, I can tell you, you have in Azerbaijan Turkish very much also widespread, and English is standard here. Absolute international communications with the employers.
No problems.
Is not a problem at all.
No language problems for anybody.
Okay. Very, very easy to deal with employees and get the talents recruited.
Even for Chinese, for example, businesses, it's not problem to find Chinese-speaking persons in Azerbaijan.
So, Mr. Chairman, then I have my final question. Of course, investors are also looking always to have high returns on their investments, and in order to limit the risk, they're looking for incentives. Do you have a program on incentives for companies that would like to accommodate and locate in your free zone?
Under our internal regulations, we can provide to our investors, to businesses established by them in the Arab Economic Zone, such incentives like zero tax rate. Any corporate tax is zero.
Zero?
Any corporate tax is zero. Custom duties and taxes, zero. And because in addition to that, we have industrial land plots with ready-to-use infrastructure and utilities. It is incentives. To come to the place there, everything is ready, plus.
And you can start, kick off immediately.
And no taxes, no custom duties. It is a combination of incentives. If you have, for example, tax incentives, but you don't have ready-to-use industrial land plots.
Then what's the point? What's the point then? Yes.
It's a combination of legislation, incentives, infrastructure.
So I see as a summary many plus points and benefits for investors here. So first of all, the reach is very easy. So you got cargo coming in soon. You got HR, talent is available because of your excellent education system here in Azerbaijan. You got ready to use immediate kickstart of places available on your grand place here that we are seeing out of the window here. And you got zero taxes. I mean, this is a massive competitive advantage.
Zero corporate taxes and zero custom duties and taxes.
So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you so much for these deep insights into your free economic zone. I hope we can meet each other again in Turkey and in Azerbaijan. And I wish you in the exploration and getting more foreign and direct investment here in this country very much luck. I can wholeheartedly, absolutely recommend it because I've seen the Azerbaijan culture and the community here. It's very open-minded, and I think it's a good choice. If you compare with Shenzhen, Dubai, Taiwan, Singapore, because the geography is also attractive in my view, because Central Asia, sometimes Southeast Asia is too far for certain value addition of products because of the logistics, but this is centrally located. Dubai on the one side, Europe on the other side, Turkey not so far away, China not so far away, so it's geographically a good hub in that race.
Location is a very important point. If you don't have access to all kinds of transportation logistics services, why you will invest at that territory?
Mr. Alasgarov, then my final ask of you is if you would like to say something into our camera, to our community, what should they do after they have listened to us? What would be your call to action?
Businesses engage in high value added export oriented manufacturing, welcomed to the Arab-Free Economic Zone, and be sure that it is best place for your investments, for your successful businesses into the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.